successful in managing your food service establishment, your most important role is to keep your patrons safe and coming back for more. So amid managing employee schedules, placing food orders, keeping the lights on, food safety often gets overlooked. But without it, you cannot have a successful food service business. And to ensure food safety, as the person in charge, or PIC, you will need to implement active managerial control. That means you have a system in place to ensure your food is safe from the moment it enters from your food purveyor until it gets served to your patrons throughout their dining experience. At the heart of active managerial control is ensuring your time temperature control for safety, or TCS foods, are handled to prevent harmful pathogens from growing in it. These pathogens are tiny living organisms which are very harmful to humans and include viruses, bacteria, and parasites. But before you begin to develop standard operating procedures and training your staff, you must first understand what foods are considered TCS. These are the foods that we use to refer to as potentially hazardous because of the likelihood harmful pathogens could grow in it if not handled or stored properly. Now we use the term TCS because it is better at describing that we must keep the food in safe holding temperatures to ensure it will not make people sick. Alternatively, if unable to keep the food in safe temperature, it must be served before pathogens have enough time to flourish. Therefore, to emphasize the importance that temperature or time play a vital role in food safety, we use the term time temperature control for safety, or TCS for short. Now that we know what to call these foods, we also need to understand the harmful pathogens that must be controlled to keep our food safe. You see, pathogens can be found anywhere. They can be present in food that comes into your establishment from the purveyor. They are found in raw meats, poultry, eggs, and fish, and even in raw seed sprouts, cut tomatoes and melons, and leafy greens such as lettuce. They can also be found on hands, and no matter how thoroughly we wash, viruses and bacteria are present from touching surfaces and using the restroom. Some people may think that bacteria can be cooked out of food, but that's only partially true. You see, while it is critical to cook your foods to the proper final cook temperatures, if improperly handled before cooking, bacteria can create a toxin as a byproduct, which will remain in your food no matter what you do with it. And we all know that toxins make people sick. Some people even think that if food doesn't smell bad or appear old, it is okay to eat. But that's only true when talking about spoilage. You see, these harmful pathogens are microscopic, meaning you cannot see them without a microscope. You cannot smell or taste them either. But when present in your food, they can make people very sick and sometimes lead to death. But science shows us how to control these pathogens. Because they are living organisms, we need to prevent them from being able to survive. That means we need to make sure we keep our TCS foods in conditions that pathogens don't like. So just like humans, these bad actors do not like to be very cold or very hot. And like us, they need water and food to flourish. There is also another factor we cannot fully describe in this short video, but pathogens need a favorable pH to survive. Therefore, TCS foods are those that have enough moisture and a favorable pH to allow pathogens to flourish when kept in the danger zone for too long. And when you take away these favorable conditions, you will prevent the pathogens from flourishing in your food and ultimately keep your patrons safe. So we look to science to show us how to control these pathogens in our food. First, we need to make sure our food is stored at a safe temperature. Research shows that most bacteria do not survive in temperatures as cold as 41 degrees Fahrenheit and as warm as 135. That's why you're required to keep your cold TCS foods refrigerated at or below 41 and your food in hot holding at or above 135. This is also why we call the temperature range between 41 to 135 the danger zone, because it's the temperature zone in which pathogens can flourish. Furthermore, this is the reason you must cool your cooked foods quickly so they don't have time to grow by remaining in the danger zone too long. You can learn more about these risk factors by checking out our videos, of cooling your food safely and safe food temperatures. Conversely, you must cook or reheat foods properly for the same reason. There are many practices you can implement to keep your food safe. Time and temperature are just two of these factors to consider, but your local health inspector can help you identify risk factors and control measures in your food establishment. Now let's discuss some foods and types of foods which are considered TCS. As mentioned before, raw meats, poultry, eggs, and seafood are all TCS. They must be held in refrigeration at or below 41 degrees and cooked properly for safety. They remain TCS after cooking too, as do vegetables after being heat treated or cooked. Therefore, canned vegetables are TCS because they are heat treated in the canning process. That means that once you open the can and expose the product to air, you must treat canned vegetables as TCS. Cooked rice and pasta are also TCS. When you think about what we've already discussed, you can see that rice and pasta are very dry, and since pathogens need moisture, these products don't support pathogen growth. However, it is clear to see that cooking rice and pasta significantly changes the nature of these items. They become soft and hydrated, and therefore they can support pathogens. This is the same for most foods such as fresh vegetables. When you cook the vegetables, consider them TCS. But please note, there have been many varieties of uncooked plant foods that have been linked to foodborne illness. As previously mentioned, these items, such as raw seed sprouts, cut leafy greens such as lettuce, spinach, cabbage, and so on, cut tomatoes, and cut melons, all of which are considered TCS. Because of that, any combination of these foods, such as slaws, chutney, or salsas, are also TCS. Even garlic and oil mixtures are TCS, unless modified to prevent pathogenic growth. All dairy items such as milk, cheese, yogurt, and sour cream are TCS, as are deli meats and salads. Obviously, in this short video, we do not have time to list every food or types of food that are TCS, and some commercially processed foods may have been treated with additives or preservatives, which may change the TCS nature of the food product. But hopefully, after watching this video, you have a better understanding of TCS foods, pathogens, and your responsibility in keeping your patrons safe. And if you have questions about your products, check with your local health inspector or ask your purveyor for a product assessment. Because remember, food safety starts with you. So be well, serve safely, and thanks for watching.